Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking about the only Montblanc that I own, and that is a Montblanc 22. So before I've done a video on the Montblanc 146, I did not own that pen, but this one I do own. And this is not one of the top tier Montblanc pens. It was brought out as a second tier pen, I believe, in the 1960s. So this is a vintage Montblanc, and I got this at the last pen show I attended in Tilburg, which was last year. This year's pen show did not happen, of course, because of COVID, but I wanted to revisit this pen a little bit because I have to be honest, I haven't used it all that much. So this pen, I think I paid 45 bucks for it, thereabouts. It has a 14K nib. And it's not in perfect state. So I bought this from someone who said, oh, I've used this as like a user pen. It's been kind of beat around, but the pricing was really good. So I was like, oh, I'll try it. Reason I have not used it very much is because the nib is very fine and it's quite dry. I'll show you that in the writing sample, but that makes it just less enjoyable for me. What I'm going to be doing in the future, not right now, is to try different inks with it to see what works and what doesn't work, because I love hooded nib pens. This is a hooded nib pen. I like the idea of having a vintage Montblanc and using it, like actually using it as a user pen as it was used by the previous owner. So let's go for a close-up shot and you'll see the imperfections of this vintage pen, and I'll give you a writing sample. So yeah, so let's switch the shot. All right, here we are with a close-up of this Montblanc, the vintage one from the 1960s. And as you can see, it is a fairly small pen. It's not big, and it's also not very heavy because it's all plastic, except for the clip, of course. Has the snowflake on top and on the piston knob. The one on the piston knob is a little damaged because the piston knob is not perfect. Like there's some wear and tear on there, and there's a lot of micro scratches on this. I don't think my camera will pick that up. That's okay. Cap band says Montblanc 22. It's a way to see that this is actually a 22. Clip is usable, and yeah, not in a bad shape at all. Did not break off or anything. One of the imperfections that is maybe a little concerning is right here near the cap band, there's a little gold peeking through, and that is from this gold ring that is at the end of the section. A tiny bit of plastic broke off there, and I don't know if I can get the camera to focus on it, but it's missing a piece. It is not bad in a way that makes me worry about this pen breaking more, but it has definitely been a beater pen. For 45 bucks, I don't mind. It's still Montblanc, and it has a hooded nib, which is one of my favorite things. It is a 14K nib. I've never disassembled this. But all the stuff I can find on the web, it says it's 14K, so I'm gonna believe that this one is also 14K. There is an ink in there right now. It's Emerald of Chivor, and it looks like when I uncap it, it burps a little bit onto the nib, which is not ideal. And you may think, oh, you put a shimmer ink in a very fine dry nib. No, I did not. I have a bottle of Emerald of Chivor that I took the shimmer out of. So this is the shimmerless version. Okay, let's move on to this writing sample that I promised. So this nib is really fine. I don't know if it's gonna focus. There's no like designation of nib size on this pen, so this is my own determination that it's a fine nib. And it's dry. I put Emerald of Chivor in this pen because it is soaking wet. Like, I cannot put it in any of my TWSBI Ecos because it just drips out. It's really weird. Any of the Ecos I've had it in, it burps like mad. It just is very wet. In this pen, it's not really that wet. It makes the pen feel better than when I use a different ink. So I guess this is an ink that matches. But I would love it if it was a little wetter. You can push it to make it a little wetter and to give it some variation. It's not a very stiff nib, which is kind of odd because in my experience, hooded nibs tend to be a little stiffer. So it burped a little bit when I uncapped it, so that's why I have ink on my fingers. But yeah, it's not adverse to a little bit of pressure actually. I hadn't tried that before. It's a nice surprise. And yeah, it flows well with this ink. I've had other inks in it. I've had Aurora Blue Black in it. I did not like it. I've had, I think, Tsukiyo by Roshizuku in it, which is not my favorite. Pilot Roshizuku inks are generally very, very lubricated or wet and do very well. But I didn't like it in this pen. It wasn't wet enough. So I put the wettest ink in there that I know of. And it's okay. It's okay. Like this, if this was used as a beater pen, and I see that, like it's dry, ink will dry quickly when you put it down. And it's quick draw, like uncaps easily. It's not a twist cap. So yeah, I understand that, but it's not my favorite nib. I'm still trying to find out if there's a better ink for this particular pen or if I need to actually work on the nib. But as you guys might know, I'm not very confident with nib work. Anyway, it's a fun little pen. It was not too expensive, and I'm eager to find out what ink this pen likes, basically. So yeah, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any ink advice, please also let me know, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.